What is up, y'all? This is JT. This is a kid's bow. I'm not sure what the pullback is on it, but I'm going to show this arrow being shot. This is the arrow or the bolt that I shot at a computer screen. And as you can see, it flattened it and jammed the insert way up into the carbon. And as you can see, I've shaved off one of the fletchings, and you'll see why. Because I'm going to shoot it out of this pistol crossbow. This is an 80-pound pullback pistol crossbow with the fiberglass limb. It's not the metal one, which is a 50. And I'm going to show you that this is not as powerful as this. These are not toys. This I would consider a toy. But still, let's show you that. Okay, first I've got the compound bow, kids compound. Pistol crossbow. And this is a modified bolt, of course. So what I'm going to do is actually cut the end of this off, and I'm going to fix it. Let's do that. Okay, in order to get it as accurate as possible, I'm going to use a miter saw and try to trim it up a little bit. Looks like I accidentally cut through the insert itself, so let's cut some more off. I did end up cutting a little bit of the insert off. It's some sort of aluminum weight. Not good. So now I gotta get the insert out of this. And then, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay, let's catch you up a little bit on what I've been doing. So I taped over this with electric tape. A lot of times I'll use super glue, but I actually can't find any, and I'll super glue first and then I'll put tape around it, and this will create sort of like a fiberglass type of a deal with the carbon fiber arrow. Otherwise it'll start to shred and fall apart. So that's what the tape is for. Then I went ahead and cut it off again. As I went to get the old broadhead out, I accidentally cut the insert in half. Well, actually I cut the end of it, and then it was bent inside of the end, so I actually had to cut it again, but I cut too much of it off and there's no threads left. So what I'm going to have to do is actually take a new field tip, put it into this, and as you can see, it just kind of slides in. There's not really any threads. There's maybe one thread that'll hold it. So what I'm going to do is actually thread this onto the back side, like so. And then hopefully it's straight enough to slide into the thing. If not, I got a razor blade, I can fix it. And then what I'm going to do is mix up some 2-part epoxy and get it all nice around the end, as well as on each of these so that they hold in. This is going to provide a little bit of weight for the arrow and stability. I'm not going to show much of that because it's going to be boring and I don't really want to have to edit and speed it up. So just imagine putting a little bit of super glue on this one, a little bit of super glue on this one, and just a little bit on the end right here, and then just smashing this down in there. You can leave it, you can leave the tape on, you can take it off, you can put another layer of super glue or epoxy, whatever you want. Just try to keep it from the carbon fiber pieces from shredding off, because they will. But basically that's pretty much how it's going to go. I'm just going to put a little bit of epoxy on there, and then I'm going to jam this in. So that's pretty much it. I cut it down to where it's about maybe 14 inches. Maybe less, maybe more. I don't know. It looks like about 14 inches. I don't have a tape measure next to me, or I'd show you. And that's what I'm going to do. Okay, as you can see, I epoxied inside and as well as over the tape and a little bit over the end of the field tip. So it should hold it relatively well. Altogether, I wanted to kind of build up a little bit around the tape. That way, hopefully the tape won't fall off. Kind of strengthen the end of the cut carbon, which is going to be a little bit weak. But after this dries, we'll test fire it. But for now, let's see how it sits inside the pistol. Alright, so the end of this is still drying, but we're going to cock this back. And if I haven't already mentioned, I did have to shave one of the 3 fletchings off in order for it to fit. What you want to do is put the safety on, and then you might have to take your knock off and realign it. Shouldn't have to. Just watch which one you cut off, and then as you can see, the knock goes up against the safety, which holds it right in the right spot for the string. And when you pull the safety off, then the string will catch into the knock and it never misfires. I'm going to go ahead and safety it back on. This is how it sits inside. You can actually make it a little bit shorter. I left it a little bit long just in case maybe I drill the insert a little bit more into the carbon fiber. What I really need is some fiberglass resin, which would be a lot stronger than epoxy, but I don't have any. And as you can see, an 80-pound pistol crossbow with a real crossbow bolt, just slightly shortened. And let's get the tape measure and see how long it is. Okay, we're ready to measure from knock to tip. It is about 16 and a half inches all the way to the end of the field point. So 16 and a half inches without the point. It's a 16, right on the money. And I did not even measure, I just stuck it in the miter saw right over here. Just stuck it in the miter saw and kind of winged it off. So lucky guess, I guess. On the next video, I'm going to actually show this thing in action, but I have to wait a little while before the epoxy before it dries enough to where it's actually not going to cause any problems. So I will be back for part 2.